Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depends on your time and your location that you are joining Real Biafra TV. Also depend on the time that you are going to watch this program. So I greet you this morning and I salute you for being here, and also still wishing you happy new year as we still on it this time around. This is Real Biafra TV reaching you today, being the third in the new month of January, in the new year of 2026. I greet you, and this morning I welcome you to this hallowed platform. Please, as I welcome you this morning, please may you welcome one another by liking and sharing the program. This first person we see here today is Chigozie and my brother Michelle. Good morning from here. Happy New Year once again as we continue to celebrate. And it is a time for us to know that we also start to wishing ourselves in advance happy new recognition as it may be coming very, very soon. Because of the outcome and the movement, the diplomatic, the legal, the political way, and the pressure that the government and we all are putting for the world to know that now that this year that it is a year of recognition, that our own will not pass us by. So I welcome you and I thank you this morning. As we are going to discuss the issue of our real declaration, how important is declaration, real declaration of a new country, and how the importance of this real declaration under the international law, and how are they seeing our real declaration of United States of Biafra. That is a thing that we want to look into this morning and see how we can help us to achieve our goal into the movement that we are into. That's why I said, I urge you, please, to like this program, to share the program, so other people may come in and join us as we are here this morning for this wonderful program that we are going to prove to the world that on our own, that we understand the importance of our declaration. That is not something that we don't know what we are doing. So that is why I want the world to know. That is why we are here this time around to change that narrative and also prove to the world that we can research, that we can find the answer by ourselves without waiting for anybody to tell us who we are anymore, without waiting for anybody to criticize us or trying to prove that who we are is not what we are. That is why it is very, very important at this stage that we are into, that you follow us up in our programs as we are here to, as I am here to educate myself and also to help with a little bit narrative that you may understand the importance of our real declaration. It is very important that you understand what you are doing and things that surrenders what you are doing and how you can achieve what you are looking for. That is why when I said that history must repeat, that history must repeat, and in the case of the Biafra movement, many histories has been repeating. in this movement. Many histories are on the line, repeating day in, day out. We are not the first country in the world that make real declaration of our country. No. When you lost a country, when a country stop exist, like what happened to the Biafran people in the year 1967 to 1970, after that, Biafra is no longer a country in the eyes of the local and the international. And if you want to regain your country back, there is criteria you have to follow for this to be achieved, for this to be happen. One of those criteria is what? The real declaration to prove that this country was in the past exists but no longer, but right now that it has become an existing country. That the declaration is a notice to the world that the real declaration have resurrected the old country back to its track as a sovereignty. Remember, people do not understand the difference of new declaration and the real declaration. Real declaration simply means standing on the existing protocol that was not duly observed or was not even in existence anymore, but there is existing protocol. Because up to today, if you go to a place like BBC, the Biafra map still on the ground of the BBC as a country. So today, we have proved to the world by that our real declaration in Helsinki, Latvia, Finland, November the 29th, 2024, by one and only Dr. Ngozi Orabueze and the cabinet members. There is no any other acting or ATM anywhere. There is no any other acting president or acting PM or acting anything except Dr. Ngozi Orabueze as the deputy prime minister, because in the protocol of the word of a government or a group, the superior authority is the number one leader. When the leader that superior is not there, if coming to existing government, or if it's coming to a country like fighting for a new country, if you have the position of the COS, automatically, when the leaders are being held or being arrested, the deputy prime, the COS becomes automatically, with every power, with every right, she becomes the next in line. She becomes the second in command. This is what the world knows clearly. And you shying away from this truth is proving that you are still reasoning like a Nigeria people. Because what we are into, it is a time for us to prove to the world that we understand the protocol, that we observe the existing protocol of the world, and how everything works when it's come to a structure of a government. Because you must have structure of government before you claim that you are a sovereignty, or before you claim that you are a country. So, I see you, Chinanye Ebonyi. Good morning from my location. So, when you, a new country, when old country that has died is being re-declared, simply mean resurrection. We have resurrected this country back in track. And also, that's our official declaration. Simply mean that the old country, see, that declaration also means that in that old country that has been lost for some years, that there is a population of people who are living there. It simply means when it comes to the criteria of the Montevideo Convention for you to become a country, it simply means that there is what? A permanent population, also defined territory. Now, the effective government to reactivate the movement is quite different. That you start from the scratch to start building a new country. Now, when you hear about those claiming Igbo nation, it does not exist, because Igbo nation did not fight war. What we used to fight Nigeria is Republic of what? Biafra. That Republic of Biafra fought war to exit Nigeria, that lost and reintegrate back into Nigeria. Said on start from then, agitating, protests, different groups, until Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of people of United States of Biafra, emerged and said that he is here to only to agitate or to fight for this Biafra only for 5 years. That after that, no one will fight or do anything about Biafra again. And he approved all this, and all this has been happened and accomplished by Beze standing up, making this real declaration of this old country that was in exist over 3 years and lost its territorial integrity in the hands of the occupier who happened to be in Nigeria. Now, that's old country. We, as the people of Biafra, has reactivated this new country. That is mean re-declaration. If you believe as a Christian that Christ was resurrected from death, if you believe in Christ's resurrection, then you must believe in USB resurrection, that Biafra has been resurrected by the name, well official, well articulated, well organized, and well pronounced, United State of Biafra. The thing is very simple. Don't mind the mediocres and those that make on social media that has nothing to offer except to make noise, and they think that changing narrative in their own way, that the world will value it. I am here to tell you this morning that the world will never value you. Your own narrative of it, how you want it. No. If you are not meeting up the criteria of the world, you go nowhere. You remain who you are. Simon Ekpa, he met the criteria of the world. That is why he knows that the full criteria of the world, including in words, declaration, which we call re-declaration of United States of Biafra. So, then, on that note, it's going to be very easy because the world knows about Biafra genocided war against with Nigeria brought to us. That is why our re-declaration is not going to waste time to achieve our international recognition. Hey, Exodus, Moisa, senior comrade, I salute you from my location. Thank you so much for being here. We all know if you're a newcomer, if you don't know Biafra, that means you're a newcomer. If you don't know this name, Biafra Exodus TV said, greetings, Mazichino, Ndewo, great Biafrans, Umuife, God bless USB. Yes, so if you don't know him, that means you just come. Then if you are just a journey, just come, please. Look at that name, Biafra TV. Just go in there, subscribe and like. Onwife. He's preaching the message in his own unique form that Chukwuka has called him to come at this time to liberate you and give you inspiration that will keep you alive to our declaration. Mazedos, Chigozia is greeting from here. Yes, Biafrans are greeting you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mazi. So, I want you to understand where we are. Now, when people are making a social media, look at them, ask them, the movement of Biafra, is it a new movement? It's not a new movement, it's old movement that has been there for a very long time. And the world knows this movement very well. Do you understand? The world knows this movement that we are talking about very well. That is why in any table today that our government puts our documents on the table, it's just a matter of what? Real declaration of the Republic of Biafra, that in this modern new world that we just put word united. Is it what is confusing you? That we put it toward United States of Biafra, instead of being only Republic of Biafra. The United States of Biafra Republic, or Republic of United States of Biafra. Is it that united is what is giving you headache? Can you tell me? I want to know. The world understands the games very well. That is why here we dwell on bringing you how the international communities sees what we are doing. We had been on bringing you more evidences, more comparison. There is countries in the world, in this modern world, that from 1990 that make their real declaration. I am going to prove with evidence in due time. People have changed the name of their country. It's also rebranded the countries from removing the old one and put the new one. Is it because of the new rebrand? Is what is confusing you? Is it why you are crazy? Is it why you are stupid? Is it why you're not listening well? You must leave that stupidity that is leading you. You must stay away from that stupidity that is in your head and focus on reality. The reality, the real declaration makes the movement responsibility. But remaining in the IPOB organization, remaining in the bridge organization, remaining in the FOR organization, remaining in all these organizations you are hearing everywhere, means you are a rebel. And you are liability to the world. On yesterday's program, you heard it from their mouth that the international community calls you what? Reliability. You are liability. You are with your IPOB is or agitation of anti-agitation is simply mean liability. These are facts and figure. These are pure truth I'm giving out to you. But that declaration, that's our real declaration, move us to responsibility. That is the president. That is what is in your. That is an eyesore. Our real declaration remove us from the leverage of liability, move us to responsibility. Real declaration move us from agitation group. They call it what yesterday? You had a document yesterday when they call it what? Rebel, refugees, political refugees, and activists. That's our real declaration. Give us what? A state, a sovereign state in waiting. A sovereign state in waiting for what? Recognition from the international global community, like what people of Somaliland, Israel gave to them on December 26, 2025. You will first become a sovereignty on your own before the world will see you as a sovereign state. The world will not come and give you a sovereignty. The world will not come and give you a name. The world will not come and tell you, oh, it's supposed to be a country. You are a country now. No, it depends on your ability. You. That like when a man is up to going to marry, is it about that time to go and marry? You do it by yourself. When it's the time for your wife to carry pregnancy, you pregnant the woman and the woman will deliver. This is how these processes, the world are comparing all this now we are doing. So I don't know what is your problem. I don't know. I stand to be looking for all these useless groups. I now use the words of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, the way you are reasoning becomes your problem. African people, the way we reason is what? Our problem. The way we reason becomes what? Our problem. That is why you must adhere to stop reasoning that way and reason the way that the world will see how serious you are, that you are no longer liability, that you are responsibility. And also, our redeclaration move us towards, they said that we become a project of the international global community. And they said that the redeclaration is a legal engine to keep the movement of that state that was redeclared as what? To move them as what? As a state in waiting. And also keep the movement alive. Our redeclaration is what keep you being a Biafran alive. If you followed yesterday's program, then you may understand. I am just doing a little bit throwback to what we are doing right now and every other thing, so you can recall the dots together. Now, when the world is also looking at this, our declaration, our redeclaration, the world understand the importance of redeclaration. They really understand it so immensely. And the eyes they are used to look the people that make declaration, they see you as a sovereign state in existing, that waiting for one thing, only one thing, that Israel give to people of Somaliland, which is what? The recognition from them. And now that Israel has recognized Somaliland, wait, in the next 2 months, you hear some outcome of what is going on. Love Day, very long time. Good morning, you're welcome to the platform today. It is a very long time for you on our platform, but it's okay because our time could not allow you to be with us. Thank you so much for being here today. So the world understands everything clearly. That's why I will tell you that the movement we are into is not what I think, it's not what I want, but it's the criteria of the international global community and their laws, their treaties that are there before us. This is the area that I want you to look at into what we are doing, so you can see clearly and understand that once a new country is being declared, that once old country, because we are not just a new country. Biafra is not a new country. We are one of the oldest countries in the world, despite losing the war. That is why the redeclaration is very important. For you to claim what you have been lost. When your phone is being lost and somebody find it for you, the person did what? Make you, or the person put it on you that this your phone has been lost, that I find it. What can you call it? It's part of re-seeing your phone. You have re-seen that phone that has been lost. When you re-see that phone, it somehow look like a new one, but which is its old one. So it still remains the old phone you have. It still remains the old phone you have. So that is why you must understand the meaning of redeclaration if you are not reasoning like one Nigeria or African mentality. If you are not, then you will understand what you're supposed to do at this stage that we are into. I also want you to know, as you join me, please like and share the program. If you're first time coming, there is a 3 dot in front of you. Click on that 3 dots. You will see like and share. And once you share, subscribe to the page and keep on notification on so you know when we are live and direct. So you can also join us for us to preach and rub our mind together in this mission. So move ahead. Now that we have re-declared, you ask yourself also, like when I played yesterday a document, how can a government in exile that make re-declaration of an old country to become a new one, how could they, do they have right to issue passport ID? They said yes. And also tell us that this re-declaration of University of Biafra, we can travel with our passports without having recognition. They now also give us example of 5 or 6 countries in the world that's happened to them. Lithuania, Somaliland, Belarus. You see, I call 2 in Africa, I call 2 in Europe. They never got recognition international, but they are a country. Their passport is working because the law of passport is different from waiting for recognition. Once you make a declaration, you can issue words, you can issue passports to your people. Then, on that issue passport, there is what they call humanitarian law movement. Under the law of the humanitarian movement, then you can sign agreement and treaty. And those countries will tell you, we did not recognize you as official country. Now, they give us an example, Taiwan. They give us an example of Somaliland. They give us an example of South Sudan. When they have never got recognition, they are a country after the declaration. They issue passport, they issue ID card to their people. Now, on the law of the humanitarian movement, that they said that they could not stop the humanitarian movement, then what they will do, the government of the USB in exile will sign treaty and agreement that we only recognize your passport because of the insecurity, because of what you are facing from the present country. Then it gives them the right to sign an agreement that this passport can be traveled to any country. Do you know that without recognition internationally, that Somaliland, they have over 140 countries they can travel to? Do you know that? It happens to many countries in the world. So our own cannot be different. That is why when I see all these mediocres and those are making noise, those one who never understand, I tell you, ask of how Somalia was being broke into 2 or into 3 factions. Well, another group is coming out there. Another group is fighting from Somalia to leave. Somalia, 3 countries will emerge in Somalia very soon. It's already become 2. The next one is in the line. And you cannot stop it. No matter what you think, because it's people ideology. It's their right, it's their belief. So, do not be deceived. And do not be confused. What we are doing is what's doing. What we are doing is our right. I said, what we are doing is what our right to do. Nobody will stop us from doing it. Because we have achieved it. By this our official declaration. You may not understand the meaning of it. But because of I do, that is why I'm here. For us to share it together. For us to make the common sense together. Emi Ghana, good morning. Awani, good morning. And the Ganstar, good morning. So, you can see that the declaration of the Biafra into United States of Biafra is the best thing that have ever happened to us, because our declaration remove us from rebel group, political pressure group. They also call it liability. Now, it now moves us to a country in waiting, sovereignty, number one. It now moves us to where it now also, under international law, it now also moves us towards responsibility. It now also moves us to the project of international global community. If one thing can lead you into this three factor, what are you waiting for? Why can't you use your heart and the hug and embrace it? If I may ask you, what is your problem? Because of your envy, your hatred, you don't like her. Let me tell you, you don't like her could not stop recognition. You don't like her could not stop that we are Biafrans, that we are already existing sovereignty in our own, like every other country in the world in the past. That's why I told her, we cannot achieve Biafra with history repeating. We cannot achieve it without looking at other people's, they call it what? Existing protocol. We cannot achieve it without this existing protocol of the world. All this existing protocol is already there. That is why you must adhere to support your government. Coming Saturday or being this week, that we must understand it very clearly. So, I urge you as human being, I urge you as a Biafran to stand up, stop complaining, stop hatred, stop claiming what you are not, but face the reality. I said what? Face the reality. Face that bitter truth squarely. This is what bitter truth that I want you to face squarely, so you will understand how it happens and what's supposed to be done, and that we have already, and also bring your support to support your own government. Stop criticizing your government. Stop being a rebel. Stop being stop being a disgrace to the world. So let us go in direct. Before we go in, I want to hear this announcement from me. From people of Odimegu State, they are going to have a very wonderful meeting, general meeting on 5th of January 2026. People of Odimegu, this message is coming from the office of your governor, that the state of Odimegu is going to have a very wonderful meeting on the 5th of this month. Then in that meeting, they want to inaugurate so many offices to start working. So please look out for your state of Odimegu. If you don't know, once you come from Old Anambra, please, Old Anambra have 3 states, which is Ikemba, Odimegu, and Omambala. Check out your own. If you don't know, you can reach me out. I can also help you to locate your state, so you know what the state is doing. So that's the message from people of Odimegu. From your office of your governor said that there's going to be a massive meeting coming 5th of this January 2026. They are going to elect or swear in the offices that are missing. So please try and be there in time. Thank you so much. So on this junction, we now move into the real deal of the day. So we are now moving. We want to start from after a country lost their country through war. The redeclaration of that lost country, what does it simply mean? Listen.
In international law, the redeclaration of independence, after a long period of absence, is more of a political signal than a magic legal reset. Its importance depends almost entirely on how much effective control the country actually has on the ground and how other nations react to it. Under international law, the situation you describe generally follows these 3 pillars. 1. The principle of effective control. International law is often pragmatic. It looks at who is actually in charge. If a country lost a war and was absorbed or occupied for years, its legal existence may have been suspended or extinguished. The fact of statehood. To be a state, you must meet the Montevideo criteria, a permanent population, a defined territory, a government, and the capacity to enter into relations with other states. The redeclaration, the act of redeclaring independence, is an assertion that these criteria are met once again. If the country has the military and administrative power to back up the declaration is seen as a founding fact. 2. Declaratory versus constitutive theory. There are two ways the world looks at a new or returning country. Declaratory theory, most common. This says that if you meet the criteria of a state, people, land, government, you are a state regardless of what others say. In this view, the redeclaration is just an official announcement of an existing reality. Constitutive theory. This says a country only exists legally if other countries recognize it. Under this view, the redeclaration is an invitation for others to recognize you. Without that recognition, the redeclared country may find it impossible to join the UN, trade officially, or protect its borders legally. 3. The role of state continuity. A critical legal question is whether the new country is a successor to the old one, or a continuation of it. Continuation. If the international community views the period of absence as an illegal occupation, e.g., the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania after the Soviet era, the redeclaration is seen as restoring the original legal personality. This is very powerful because it means old treaties and property rights might still be valid. New state. If the previous country was considered legally dead, the redeclaration marks the birth of a brand new entity. This means starting from scratch with treaties, debts, and international memberships. Comparison of outcomes. Scenario. Legal weight of redeclaration. Outcome. With effective control plus recognition. High. Full membership in the UN, sovereign immunity, protected borders. With effective control but no recognition. Medium. A de facto state, like Taiwan or Somaliland, can function but faces legal hurdles in international courts. No effective control. Declaration only. Low. Seen as a government in exile, or a symbolic gesture. No real standing in international law. Summary. The redeclaration is essentially a claim to sovereignty. Its importance under international law is determined by whether the country can exercise authority over its land, and whether the big players in the international community and the UN Security Council choose to accept that claim. Would you like me to look into a specific historical example, such as the Baltic states or a particular region, to see how their redeclaration was handled?
I hope you're listening. We are going to play it once again. You know, here we don't hide anything from this document. We play everything for you to hear it clearly, so you may understand it perfectly. We are discussing issue of the importance of redeclaration and under international law. How do they see it? So that is why I want to start from scratch to the end, so you may follow us this morning and listen carefully as we are moving. So please bear with us. Abaro, say good morning from here.
In international law, the redeclaration of independence, after a long period of absence, is more of a political signal than a magic legal reset. Its importance depends almost entirely on how much effective control the country actually has on the ground and how other nations react to it. Under international law, the situation you describe generally follows these three pillars. 1. The principle of effective control. International law is often pragmatic. It looks at who is actually in charge. If a country lost a war and was absorbed or occupied for years, its legal existence may have been suspended or extinguished. The fact of statehood. To be a state, you must meet the Montevideo criteria, a permanent population, a defined territory, a government, and the capacity to enter into relations with other states. The redeclaration, the act of redeclaring independence, is an assertion that these criteria are met once again. If the country has the military and administrative power to back up the declaration is seen as a founding fact. 2. Declaratory versus constitutive theory. There are two ways the world looks at a new or returning country. Declaratory theory, most common. This says that if you meet the criteria of a state, people, land, government, you are a state regardless of what others say. In this view, the redeclaration is just an official announcement of an existing reality. Constitutive theory. This says a country only exists legally if other countries recognize it. Under this view, the redeclaration is an invitation for others to recognize you. Without that recognition, the redeclared country may find it impossible to join the UN, trade officially, or protect its borders legally. 3. The role of state continuity. A critical legal question is whether the new country is a successor to the old one, or a continuation of it. Continuation. If the international community views the period of absence as an illegal occupation, e.g., the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania after the Soviet era, the redeclaration is seen as restoring the original legal personality. This is very powerful because it means old treaties and property rights might still be valid. New state. If the previous country was considered legally dead, the redeclaration marks the birth of a brand new entity. This means starting from scratch with treaties, debts, and international memberships. Comparison of outcomes. Scenario. Legal weight of redeclaration. Outcome. With effective control plus recognition. High. Full membership in the UN, sovereign immunity, protected borders. With effective control but no recognition. Medium. A de facto state, like Taiwan or Somaliland, can function but faces legal hurdles in international courts. No effective control. Declaration only. Low. Seen as a government in exile, or a symbolic gesture. No real standing in international law. Summary. The redeclaration is essentially a claim to sovereignty. Its importance under international law is determined by whether the country can exercise authority over its land, and whether the big players in the international community and the UN Security Council choose to accept that claim. Would you like me to look into a specific historical example, such as the Baltic states or a particular region, to see how their redeclaration was handled?
I hope you are listening. And I hope you are following. Because of those that do not understand what we are into, there is laid down principles, there is laid down existing protocol, there is laid down rules for this movement that we are into. We cannot do it with what we think. It can never happen. And when you watch up the criteria of having a new this our declaration, they did not mention military. They did not mention woto. Before you become a sovereign state, they said that once you make a declaration and you met criteria of what? A permanent population, divine territory, effective government, capacity to enter into relation to sign to this agreement with other countries. Once you have met these 4 criteria, you are a sovereignty, you are a state, you are a nation, you are a country. Yes. Let's continue. In international law, the declaration of independence after a long period of absence, is more of a political signal than a magic legal rest. Easy way, good morning. Its importance depends almost entirely on how much effective control the country actually has on the ground and how the others react towards it. The Biafra government are very, very effective control in the homeland. Like an announcement, one of the states in old Anambra or Dimegu is trying to have their own another election to elect for people to the offices that have been missing, people that are not there, to prove a government what fully structured. So it simply means that once we made this our declaration of United States of Biafra, that we met in this criteria of population, divine territory. Remember, anywhere you had that word divine territory simply means the 40 states, that is our land, that we have divined our territory with the so-called one Nigeria, that means a death sentence to those who believe in one Nigeria. Okay. When we look at the outcome on the ground today, what is in your mind? I want to ask you, if you are on this comment section from the homeland, I want to ask you, the United States of Biafra government, are they effective in your own understanding in Biafra land? Please, Do you feel the effective, or do you know that the government is working? Do you know that there's a government in the homeland? Do you know that? I want to see those from the comment section to answer. That would simply mean. Under the international law, this situation, the situation you describe, us the situation I describe here, has three different pillars, ways to describe it. Now, the principle of effective control, number one. International law is often pragmatic. It looks at who actually in charge. If a country lost a war and was abandoned or occupied for the years, it is legal. Existence may have been surrendered or what? Occupied by the so-called Nigeria. Under this international law, they know when a country lost war, like the people of Biafra. Isiweke, good evening, good morning from here. Thank you so much for coming. When a country lost war, they know that the old country, the present country like Nigeria, who occupied Biafra territory will be there. They said what? If a country lost a war, it is legal, existing, may have been suspended, yes. Because of the lost war, do you think that Biafra is no longer existing? Isiweke said, I want all old Anambra local government to take full control over. On waiting drama, but action, all old Eastern leaders are taking us for granted. Yes, but it is a gradual process. Sunday, I unblock you, so I think that after that unblock, you never get your sense. Well, we are not forcing anybody to be a Biafran. We are not. It's just a one vote Sunday. We are not. I'm not dragging anything with you. I am not dragging anything with you. People of Delta has come outside, even tell their governor to put them back into Igbo state. Is it not true? It's in social media. We are not forcing anybody. We are not forcing you. Because you have only one vote, like I have only one vote. That's what we believe on. We are not forcing. We did not form a new country. Rather, that is my topic today. We redeclared, we reactivate old Biafra that lost war. The country that was lost through war of 1970 to 1970. That is what we have reactivated, my man. We are not claiming a new country. Because go to the map of BBC, you will still see Biafra map, Biafra on their ground of channels that existing. Go there till today. They did not clear it. Because of we lost war does not mean that we are not a country or that we are not a Biafran. I am a Biafran. I don't know about you. And I am not forcing you to be a Biafran either. I am not forcing you. And you will not force anybody not to be a Biafran. We have made our declaration. We have resurrected that name, Biafra. The only thing we put is to unify it by calling it what? Republic of United States of Biafra. That is what we did. When your father is late, but he gives birth to you, you are what? Proving that that family is still in existence. That is why me living today proving that Biafra is still alive. And that is why we are talking about Biafra. If you have a grandfather, if you bear a surname of your family, son the king. If you ever bear a surname of your people, that simply means that you are reactivating the family's name. That is what we have achieved. That's what we did, nothing more than that. You can't separate being a Biafran by being Igbo. You can't separate old Eastern region from Biafra. I think today, this is the first time you call Mazi. Is it not Sunday King? No. Is it the Sunday I'm thinking? Maybe, yeah. Maybe, or may not. We are not forcing you to be, we are not forcing anybody. Igbo is a language. Igbo is a language. English is a language. You don't know that? Igbo is a language. Igbo is not a nation. Arabic is a language. France is a language. Is it not true? I ask you one thing. Have you asked yourself, who are you before the amalgamation of 1914? If you find out, type on the Google or anywhere, type. Before 1914, who are these people that was amalgamated in 1914? Just type it, then read. You don't need to come here to come and comment anymore. That's why I told you, you can't separate be Igbo from Biafra. That's why Biafra is a name of a country. Igbo is my language. Igbo is not a nation. English is a language. I've said it before. Let me say it again to you. And if you check on the comment section here, check Sunday King. Out of the viewers that is clocking over 1,000, out of the 18 people that are so far in the 52 minutes I've started this program, you are only one that your comment is different. So if you check towards that, you can see how the vote is being voted. And when population want the vote, you join. Just look at the comment section as an example of the voting right now. Everybody is commenting consequently on what we are saying and believing in what is coming out from here. You are only the one out of 18 people that have different ideology. If it is election now that you are placed in election, people has won you, and there's nothing you can do. I will not allow you to deviate into what I'm doing because I have my program to run. And that is why I always block you. But the other thing here is that that's why I ask you, look at the comment section. Out of the 19 people, you are only one commenting different thing. You are the only one commenting different thing. Check even those that are just joining us right now. Yes, let me remind you. Thank you, about to say you are here. King, in America, July 4th, 1776, when America declared their independence, people of California, people of Georgia, people of New York voted that they don't want America to become a country. Look at, let me give it to you back again. I said, July 4th, 1776, when America made the declaration that they want America to become, they want United States of America as a country. People of Georgia, people of California, people of New York, they voted that they don't want America as a country. Even the Anglican bishop also vote against that America will not be a country. Today, America is not a country. So look at it very well. That's why I give you an example. Now, there is no country that has emerged in this world without people said I don't want to belong here. Nobody forces them. Those that don't want America to be a country, many of them run away from America. They die in exile. Many of them die in London. Many die in UK. Many die in England. Many die in Canada and the other countries in the world where they run into because of people like you, what they have been commenting, and they remark their name. And like you now, you are not using your original name to comment. You use a fake name. Because if tomorrow Biafra don't get recognition, like people of Somaliland, that thing is not teaching you that all these history that are coming out in the world today is not making you to be reasonable. Look at Somaliland that got their independence from Somalia today. Some people said no, they don't want to be a member of Somaliland. But today, they have officially got the recognition after waiting for 34 years. Somaliland waited for 34 years after their declaration before they will be able to get what? International recognition. Before they can be able to achieve international recognition by Israel, which is happening yesterday, 26th of 2025, December. That thing is not teaching you lesson to learn that your comment here cannot stop nothing. Those people that they never want Somaliland to become a country today Somaliland has become an official country. When they never got recognition, if you check their flag will not come out if you type their name. But because of this occasion of 2026, of 2025, December 26, if you tag Somaliland right now, their flag will appear. That is the same thing where we are right now. You don't know. Because using like an Africa, using like an Igbo, using like a Nigeria that they use food to control your head. And you cannot achieve anything. So because of the people that never want Somaliland to become a country, today that Somaliland has become an official country, what a shame to them, like people like you in the future. You are thinking of today. You don't think about the future. Remember, the future lies in the past. The past lies in the history of the present. You don't know that. Come and continue commenting jargon. Among 20 people, you are the only one that is different here. Can't you see that you are head? In the midst of us here, you are rebel. You are Judas. Because of Judas and his work, the Christ did not accomplish his mission. I leave it there for you. I go back to my program. Yes, I see all of you. Please, Biafra, thank you so much. I can see you. I can see you. I can see Ben Iwu. Good morning from here, my brother. You're welcome. You're welcome. I can see you. Thank you so much for being here. All of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please, as you are just joining me, please like and share the program so others may join us. Listen to the program we are discussing. We are treating importance of real declaration. Also, under international law, the importance of this our real declaration. That is the topic that we are treating today. We have it to section 1, section 2, section 3, and we are on section 1 right now. So we are going to go down towards all of them so we can understand why you have to embrace, why you have to hug, why you have to hug our declaration, and why you must continue to praise the Congo's Arabes or the action that she is taking. Because of what? She has adopted the UN Charter, Article 2 in bracket 4. No armed struggle. No, they say they don't want any violence anymore in the world. We are looking for a new country. They don't want anything. They don't want it. They want you to maintain diplomatic, legal, political, and pressure is what they want you to do. And once you met this criteria of 4 criteria, population, divine territory, government, and the criteria to enter into relationship, they said you are a sovereignty. That they did not care what the world say, that we don't have to care what other people say about us, that we should focus on our deal, on our doings, that we give us recognition. We must continue, my people. Listen to this.
In international law, the redeclaration of independence, after a long period of absence, is more of a political signal than a magic legal reset. Its importance depends almost entirely on how much effective control the country actually has on the ground and how other nations react to it. Under international law, the situation you described generally follows these three pillars. 1. The principle of effective control. International law is often pragmatic. It looks at who is actually in charge. If a country lost a war and was absorbed or occupied for years, its legal existence may have been suspended or extinguished. The fact of statehood. To be a state, you must meet the Montevideo criteria, a permanent population, a defined territory, a government, and the capacity to enter into relations with other states. The redeclaration, the act of redeclaring independence, is an assertion that these criteria are met once again. If the country has the military and administrative power to back up the declaration is seen as a founding fact.
The declaration has started being seen as a founding fact. What do they ask us to do here? They said, to be a state, to be a sovereign state, you must meet the Montevideo criteria. A permanent population of Ndemado people, a defined territory, the 40 states, a government of the United States of Biafra, led by Dr. Ngozi Arabeze, is very effective, and the capacity to enter into relation with other states. This is what makes you a state. Not protecting border, not controlling border. No. No, hell no to that. You are listening to it here. This is the guideline they give us. That on this, the redeclaration, the act of the declaration independence is an exceptional that criteria are met once again. Once we make our redeclaration, how about Obie act? That is, he played very smart game by conducting our self-referendum that give us the vote over 50 million Biafrans. This is a permanent population. Proving what? A permanent population. Having 40 states without declaration, proving that we have defined our territory. Telling us, calling a four-man committee to select those that are going to be the government structure, the government cabinet members, immediately our redeclaration, proving that there is effective government. The governments are having the capacity to go and sign what? Treaties, agreements. This is what makes you a sovereign state. Nothing less, nothing more. First, before you seek international recognition. Without this redeclaration, you are merely a political refugee activist. Without this declaration, you are what? Without this, you are what? Liability to the world. With the declaration, you are what? Responsibility of international global community. You know, one thing with you that you prove stubborn, and one thing you forget that it takes me only a second to delete the rubbish you are writing. And it takes me a second to block you also, on when I feel to allow you. I am allowing you for you to listen and get sense. And I said up to now, you don't want to get sense. Over 2 months, you are on this platform, you don't want to get sense. You see, it takes me a second, look at it, to delete all the nonsense you write. I checked for over 5 minutes, you never commented. Now you come back to comment with this, and that thing it take you 5 minutes to comment is what takes me a second to delete. What is benefit? Christy Biafra, thank you so much. Then on this junction also, I want to tell my fellow Biafrans that in this page, we are still calling for your support, please, because of we really need these gadgets that we are looking for. There is a reason why we have that specific gadget I am looking for. There is something I want to do with that. Triple M, good morning. Happy New Year. And a happy recognition in advance to all Biafrans. Because it's coming, it's looming. So let us continue, please. Don't mind that stupid one. I have do the needful. I have just blocked him away. So the re-declaration is proving that's lost country that was not in existence for a long time, that people has come back, and there is what? A permanent population. There is defined territory. There is government. There is capacity to enter into relation. They said that once you have maintained this, that automatically that you are what? That you are a sovereign state. That you are what? That you are a sovereign state. Yes, Triple M. Congratulations to USB in advance. Yes, so I see you, Zoshku. You're welcome. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. I'm not a pastor. I am just an ordinary human being who believe that I want my old country, Biafra, which we have re-declared, and I am bringing what the international law put on us to know. Now that we have made official declaration, please, thank you. Now, remember they said that this re-declaration has 3 criteria. We are just finishing the number 1 criteria. That we, for the facts of stakehold, for you to become a sovereign state. So, that is why people of Biafra, that is why you and I believe on the mandate of our re-declaration. Listen again.
2. Declaratory versus constitutive theory. There are 2 ways the world looks at a new or returning country.
Look at it, he said, there are 2 ways the world, that is the international global community, look at a new or returned country. Our own is returned. We are not a new country in the world. Gojus 042, good morning from here. We are not a new country. We are old country. We are returning our words. We are returning back. That is why it's called re-declaration. That is why it's being called what? Re-declaration of the old to come into a new. That's what we are doing.
Declaratory theory, most common. This says that if you meet the criteria of a state, people, land, government.
Have you got that word? If you meet criteria of a state, now, that's what I told you. In this modern 21st century, the criteria of you to become a state or a sovereign state has changed automatically. It has what? It has changed. The leverage of having a new country, the world has changed it. It's no longer control your border. It's no longer it's no longer gun and bullet. No. Once you met this criteria, people, human beings, land, government, once you have a land, once there is a government, these are the most effective 3 criteria that makes you a sovereign state in waiting for recognition. You are a state regardless of what others are saying against you. Child, now this one they sweet me. I don't know whether this one they sweet you.
You are a state regardless of what others say. In this view, the redeclaration is just an official announcement of an existing reality.
Are you listening? This says that if you met the criteria of a state, people, land, government, you are a state regardless of what others say. In this view, the real declaration is just an official announcement of an existing reality. It is what? Official announcement of existing reality. DPFPV, I don't know your comments, and that is all you know to comment. It's the time I start blocking, deleting that nonsense you are writing, because I don't condone nonsense. If you don't want to get sense, it's time to put you out on the page. Get out. So, are you listening? For you to become a state, even new, old, re-declared you or just declared, they said, this says that if you met the criteria of a state, people, land, government, you are a state regardless of what others say. In this view, the real declaration is just an official announcement of existing reality. It is what? Official announcement that one Nigeria, that means that sentence, that we don't longer belong in you, that we have declared our own state, and we have re-declared the lost Biafra back, because there is nothing you can do to stop me being a Biafra. It's inborn. It's the blood they used upon me. So I cannot. When you see the so-called Boko Haram that Nigerian government are using, they are being born to kill. That is why they are buying the indigenous people anyhow. Let's continue.
Constitutive theory. This says a country only exists legally if other countries recognize it. Under this view, the redeclaration is an invitation for others to recognize you.
Are you hearing it? Are you hearing it? A Fulani man is here. If they pain you, say we they read what the world put out for us, and we have to take it. So let it continue to pay. Yes, it's somewhere I can take for that. If they pain you, let it continue to depend all of you. If Somaliland is a country, we must be a country. Biafra. It's happening in this 21st century. If South Sudan is a country, we must be a country. If Kosovo is a country, we must be a country. If Belarus of 2020 is a country, we must be a country. If Afghanistan of 2021 is a country, we must be a country. That is the criteria of people that are the same level with us. We must continue. They says a country only exists legally if other countries recognize it. That is only what we are losing. That is only what is holding us. Under this view, the Ria Declaration is an invitation for others to recognize you. The Ria Declaration is what? Automatic invitation to the world to recognize United States of Biafra as officially sovereign states under the international law. Are you listening? The re-declared country may find it possible to join the UN. Yes. Trending official or protecting its borders legally. We can only protect Biafra's sovereignty declaration in our territory through legal means. They said we have to, not by gun and bullet in this 21st century. It's under legal, pen and paper to the UN, to the world. And you are waiting for Woto. I'm sorry for you, because you're not going to see that. Even Abatobi said after declaration that we are not going to shoot one bullet anymore. I don't know, you are listening because of who gives us this word, the syndrome of hear and forget in this platform. Because of the syndrome of hear and forget, you cannot recall. And you're waiting for Woto. Sorry, because you are not going to see anything, but you are only going to see what? Legal. They said here, the new country, the re-declared country has to protect its border legally. Legally. Do you see how we can protect our border? For those that are asking for 80%, 20%, 30%. In this 21st century, that issue of controlling border does no longer exist. They have banished it. They have abolished issue of 100%, 20%. It's no longer in existence. What is in existence is legal. To legalize everything. That is why our DPM Agwan legalized the 40th state of Biafra in the rest of America, in the United Nations. It has been legalized that we are a state, we are a sovereign state with defined territory. The territory must be protected under what? Legality. That is how you have to protect the re-declaration of this country, because of what? Insecurity, because of because of the world one peaceful movement of a new of this old that has turned into a new country. When you change a human being, a new cloth, he wears for the first time. There's a new cloth on top of you, but inside you, you know that old person who wears that new cloth. Use that to reason. Let's continue.
Without that recognition, the re-declared country may find it impossible to join the UN, trade officially, or protect its borders legally.
Do you hear it? Without re-declaration of unity of Biafra, those who said Ojukwu has declared Biafra, nobody will declare it again. The Biafra Ojukwu declared was lost. There is what we call lost and found. There is declaration is also lost and found. The declaration of the Biafra of Ojukwu has been lost. That is the one that they thought that Biafra is dead for them. But for you and I, who believe in our declaration, Biafra remains alive. It becomes life. Automatically. Legally. Under the international community. That is a sign. That is a letter. That is invitation to the world that we have re-declared. We have reclaimed our position. That is why when you see some people in the office when they vote out, they will fight back. They will rehabilitate themselves and come in and start fighting like Donald Trump did. After his first 4 years, they pushed him out. What he did, he declared his interest and come back. Bishop, good morning from here. Isiweke said, dear Abulamungu Ibrahim, Arab are not lost. Remember the proud of their language. They comes together with the name, but see the same Arab who are fighting to protect their God's Islam. Yes. Bishop said, increase the volume, bro. Let the deaf and dumb hear it and be delivered. That's what we are doing here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, without declaration, nobody will recognize the old dead Biafra of Chukwuemeka that was lost. Without, they said it here, listen very carefully. The redeclaration country, without the redeclaration, they may find it impossible to join the UN. Do you see why the declaration? That's why they say that the redeclaration is the legal engine. That the redeclaration is keeping the movement alive. The redeclaration is waiting, a state waiting for recognition. Only this redeclaration. So when you see all this IPOB organization, when you see all these MUG who are messing up around, don't mind them. They are fooling themselves. Without this redeclaration, and the ones you redeclared, the ones we go down, you will hear everything. Let me just be telling you one step at a time. Once you make this official redeclaration, you have a chance to join, to send petition, to send document to the UN, to every concept in the world that I have redeclared, I have retake what I lost. I will take it back. And it's what is your own. So nobody will stop you. We must continue.
3. The role of state continuity. A critical legal question is whether the new country is a successor to the old one, or a continuation of it. Continuation. If the international community views the period of absence as an illegal occupation, e.g., the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania after the Soviet era, the redeclaration is seen as restoring the original legal personality. This is very powerful because it means old treaties and property rights might still be valid.
Do you hear it? Now they bring an example of those that declared their independence. Those that through war. If the international community view the period of absence as an illegal occupation, like now that Biafran land, now that the University of Biafran territory is under occupy of Nigeria, now that we make a declaration, this is how the world are looking at Nigeria. This is the pure truth. This is the fact and figure. The world will see Nigeria as those who occupy a country. Also what? They said, e.g., the countries like Eastern is like Lithuania, Lithuania, and the Soviet Union, they make the redeclaration of the new country. The redeclaration is seen as restoring the original legal possibility or personality. The redeclaration seen as restoring the original legal personality. Do you see what our redeclaration that took place in Finland, December 29, 2024, what it simply means. So when you are listening to this, are you not happy about the Declaration and the importance of it in the eyes of the international global community? Are you not happy? I am happy. That is why I'm doing this. When I keep on searching and finding things that's proving that we're on the right track, oh, the more I feel more, the more I have more strength, more joy inside me to continue. I become joyful at all times. Even at anything I'm doing, if you remember our declaration, God, I said, Ngozi Arabeze, you are a saint. You are an angel to us. Thank you for achieving that for us. Thank you for standing tall. Thank you against all odds to make a declaration of the United States of Biafra that was lost in the year 1967 to 1970. Hey, Triple M, are you still here? They will not allow them to be happy. That is why we want to come with fact and figure. That is why we want to come out with fact and figure to them, so they will know. So this our declaration, we are not only the one. Some countries in the world, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, and the Soviet Union, many of them in the past, after the war, after the Second World War, they make their declaration of their country. And here they told us that this declaration is what? Look at this word. Remark this word. The declaration is seen as restoring the original legal personality. Restoring the original legal of what? Biafra that was lost. Our declaration in the name United States of Biafra is to restore it back. It becomes a responsibility, not liability anymore to the world. Shame on you for not standing on the truth. Shame on you for being deceived up to this moment.
New state. If the previous country was considered legally dead, the redeclaration marks the birth of a brand new entity. This means starting from scratch with treaties, debts, and international memberships.
Are you listening? New state. Say, now we put out this new state in this document. The world will know that a new state has emerged. The new state. If the previous country was considered legally dead, if those who claim like a Peter Obi, the stupid, idiotic Obi fool, and the person who said that Biafra is dead, look at this word here. Look at this word here. The redeclaration make the birth certificate brand new entity. The redeclaration make us what? That our certificate now becomes a brand new entity. Like when you repaint an old house, it becomes new automatically. No. I don't know where they keep all these things all this while. When Obato Obie is here, we could have used this to help Obato Obie more when he was busy. But the time is now. And Chukwu Okabiama, no. Shido Emmanuel, you're welcome. Good morning from here. This means starting from the scratch. Obato Obie said, Master Kano said, that we are going to build Biafra from the scratch. Look at where the word is coming from. I must ask myself, oh, does it mean that they have all read about this thing in the past? Because if I look at all the work from Master Nnamdi Kanu and Master Simon Ekpa, if you look at this junction where we are right now, this means starting from the scratch with territories, debates, and international membership, building the new country from the scratch. We are on the right track. We must continue. We must do it now. Never. It is our time to do this.
Comparison of outcomes.
Now, comparison of the outcomes of all this. Listen.
Scenario. Legal weight of redeclaration. Outcome. With effective control
Legal weight of redeclaration, the legal weight of it. Listen.
plus recognition. High. Full membership in the UN. Sovereign immunity. Protected borders. With effective control but no recognition. Medium. A de facto state, like Taiwan or Somaliland, can function but faces legal hurdles in international courts.
Are you see the comparison now? Redeclared. Once you are declared, you activate a right, legal aspect of being member of the UN once you submit your document to them. Well, now it's time for that said, with effective control but no recognition, with effective control but no recognition, or saying medium, a de facto state like Taiwan or Somaliland before. The present Somaliland now has become a member of the international community recognition. They are past our level. Can function, but face legal handling in the international court. The same thing that we are facing today. Our DPM, our government is facing all this right now. Let's continue.
Control. Declaration only. Low. Seen as a government in exile, or a symbolic gesture. No real standing in international law.
Now, because of we are waiting for what? International recognition. That is why they said it is the declaration means a sovereign state in waiting. Today, Somaliland, after 34 good years, is no longer a sovereign state in the waiting because that recognition from Israel. Do you know that after America declared independence in July 4th, 1776, America becomes what? Sovereign state in waiting for recognition. They waited for maximum 2 years. Maximum 2 years. In these 2 years, in a year and 6 months, a country called Morocco granted them their first recognition. Seconded in 2 years maximum from France. This is how America kicked off their movement. Today, you are hearing about United States of America that are on top of the world, doing the needful, controlling the world today, and bombarding Nigeria with their terrorist movement, banning them in everywhere. Listen, in summary.
Summary. The redeclaration is essentially a claim to sovereignty. Its importance under international law is determined by whether the country can exercise authority over its land, and whether the big players in the international community and the UN Security Council choose to accept that claim. Would you like me to look into a specific historical example, such as the Baltic states or a particular region, to see how their redeclaration was handled?
Are you hearing it? That is why I told you that we have to, the history must repeat. Summary. The redeclaration is externally claimed to a sovereignty. Once you make a declaration, you are what claiming. You becomes automatically a sovereignty by yourself and depend on that. Its importance on international law is determined by whether the countries can exercise authority over its lands and whether the big players in this international community, they want to join the UN. These are the criteria that we are into it. I want to play it more on this session 1 and open our phone call for people to call. After that call, we go into the main session 2 that will make you more happy and you will rejoice and be clapping and jumping that you are on the right track. Coach Ofotu said we are in the right track. This is the time for all of us to whom international law world with the law, with their law. Yes, so listen.
In international law, the redeclaration of independence, after a long period of absence, is more of a political signal than a magic legal reset. Its importance depends almost entirely on how much effective control the country actually has on the ground and how other nations react to it. Under international law, the situation you describe generally follows these 3 pillars. 1. The principle of effective control. International law is often pragmatic. It looks at who is actually in charge. If a country lost a war and was absorbed or occupied for years, its legal existence may have been suspended or extinguished. The fact of statehood. To be a state, you must meet the Montevideo criteria: a permanent population, a defined territory, a government, and the capacity to enter into relations with other states. The redeclaration, the act of redeclaring independence, is an assertion that these criteria are met once again. If the country has the military and administrative power to back up the declaration is seen as a founding fact. 2. Declaratory versus constitutive theory. There are two ways the world looks at a new or returning country. Declaratory theory, most common. This says that if you meet the criteria of a state, people, land, government, you are a state regardless of what others say. In this view, the redeclaration is just an official announcement of an existing reality. Constitutive theory. This says a country only exists legally if other countries recognize it. Under this view, the redeclaration is an invitation for others to recognize you. Without that recognition, the redeclared country may find it impossible to join the UN, trade officially, or protect its borders legally. 3. The role of state continuity. A critical legal question is whether the new country is a successor to the old one, or a continuation of it. Continuation. If the international community views the period of absence as an illegal occupation, e.g., the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania after the Soviet era, the redeclaration is seen as restoring the original legal personality. This is very powerful because it means old treaties and property rights might still be valid. New state. If the previous country was considered legally dead, the redeclaration marks the birth of a brand new entity. This means starting from scratch with treaties, debts, and international memberships. Comparison of outcomes. Scenario. Legal weight of redeclaration. Outcome. With effective control plus recognition. High. Full membership in the UN, sovereign immunity, protected borders. With effective control but no recognition. Medium. A de facto state, like Taiwan or Somaliland, can function but faces legal hurdles in international courts. No effective control. Declaration only. Low. Seen as a government in exile, or a symbolic gesture. No real standing in international law. Summary. The redeclaration is essentially a claim to sovereignty. Its importance under international law is determined by whether the country can exercise authority over its land, and whether the big players in the international community and the UN Security Council choose to accept that claim. Would you like me to look into a specific historical example, such as the Baltic states or a particular region, to see how their redeclaration was handled?
I hope you listen carefully. I am doing this to let this thing continue to pen those enemies who are doing propaganda, for them to know there is nothing you can do. Once there is a redeclaration, the world know what it means and what the redeclaration. The world know the importance of redeclaration of a new country. So on this junction, on this session 1, we are just finishing right now, our phone call will be open for if anyone want to call us as we continue the program. The number to call is +9733360513337. Chrissy Biafra, thank you. You are asking Biafra to like and share the program, please. If it's your first time coming, you will see the like button. There is a 3 dots in front of you. On that 3 dots, touch it once, it will open. You will see like and share. Once you share, it will send you to what? To subscribe on the YouTube page. If you never do that, please endeavor to do that. So we have called our line once again, +97333613337. So that is the number to call, only on WhatsApp. In case if you want to join us this morning on this hallowed platform to submit your own humble suggestion or how you feel about what we are doing, you are free to do that. You are free. Yes. Look at the comment from our brother Chris Biafra. You can see that. Biafrans, I also still ask you, I still need this support. If you know about M5, Apple laptop, how much they're selling it. That is what I want, because there is a reason. Because of level of what I want to do on research. That is the only one that has, there is something about this particular laptop that others did not have. Please, the money is not okay. We are still begging to support this. In fact, there we have got to into three. We have on the last part of the month to be completed. Please, I urge Biafran to support. So when we come, we can enlarge this program. If God will do the way it is in our mind this year, this program will be showing on television. This document, so all of us can read it together. All of us can see it. We will be doing it like a class, pointing hand and doing it. So that is why I'm asking for this support. If you want to support me through Naira account, contact me on my number. If you want the dollar account, I can post it here. You can screenshot it, and from there you can get me and support me, please. When the laptop is here, the television will also be here. We want to be reading it and be pointing hand on this, so the world will know that we have already know that they're hiding from us. That is no longer talking what I feel or what I want. It's about talking what they want us to talk. It's also about to expose the things they hide from us. So please, I beg you to do that. I beg you. We must continue. Our line is open. As we're waiting for the phone call, we are going to be going into session 2. What session are we going to? On the headline, how can redeclaration become a claim to a sovereignty? And what is the importance of redeclaration? We are still on the round of it, because we want to make it very clear to all of us understand it clearly. So, as we're waiting for the phone call, if the phone call comes, we pause and we'll continue. Let's continue.
In international law, a redeclaration of independence is the formal bridge between a political desire and a legal reality. It is the moment a group moves from being rebels or subjects to claiming they are a sovereign state. Here is how that redeclaration transforms into a formal claim to sovereignty and why it carries weight. 1. The redeclaration as a founding act. A redeclaration is not just a speech, it is a legal instrument that notifies the rest of the world that the legal personality of a country has been restored or created. Evidence of intent. It proves to the international community that the entity intends to exercise the rights and duties of a state, like signing treaties or protecting citizens. The break from the past. It serves as the official cutoff date for when the laws of the occupying or winning country, the one they want to exit from, no longer apply. Defining the boundaries. A redeclaration usually defines the territory and population being claimed, which is essential for meeting the Montevideo criteria for statehood. 2. The link to state continuity. The importance of a redeclaration, as opposed to a first-time declaration, often lies in continuity. If a country redeclares independence after an illegal occupation, like the Baltic states in 1990, they are claiming they never stopped existing legally. This makes the redeclaration a reassertion of sovereignty. It allows the country to reclaim old embassy buildings, gold reserves held in foreign banks, and seats in international organizations without starting from scratch.
Yes.
3. Importance under international law. Under international law, the redeclaration serves 3 critical functions. Triggers the right to self-determination. Modern international law, UN Charter Art 1, protects the right of peoples to determine their own political status. The redeclaration is the formal exercise of this right. Invitation for recognition. Other countries usually wait for a formal declaration before they decide to recognize the new state. Without the redeclaration, other countries have no official entity to talk to or trade with. Establishes de jure status. While a country might have de facto in fact control by winning a war, the redeclaration is the first step toward de jure by law status. It moves the conflict from a civil war or internal matter to an international issue. 4. When does the claim become real? A redeclaration is a claim, but it only becomes sovereignty when it meets 2 tests. 1. Effectiveness. Can the government actually collect taxes, police the streets, and defend the borders? 2. Recognition. Do the great powers and the United Nations accept the declaration? Important note. In international law, if a redeclaration is made but the country cannot maintain control of its land, the declaration remains a symbolic gesture rather than a legal reality. Would you like to explore how a specific country's redeclaration, like Estonia, South Sudan, or East Timor, changed its legal standing at the United Nations?
We play it again. You know how we do it here 2 times, 3 times. before we go to in-depth analysis.
In international law, a redeclaration of independence is the formal bridge between a political desire and a legal reality. It is the moment a group moves from being rebels or subjects to claiming they are a sovereign state. Here is how that redeclaration transforms into a formal claim to sovereignty and why it carries weight. 1. The redeclaration as a founding act. A redeclaration is not just a speech, it is a legal instrument that notifies the rest of the world that the legal personality of a country has been restored or created. Evidence of intent. It proves to the international community that the entity intends to exercise the rights and duties of a state, like signing treaties or protecting citizens. The break from the past. It serves as the official cutoff date for when the laws of the occupying or winning country, the one they want to exit from, no longer apply. Defining the boundaries. A redeclaration usually defines the territory and population being claimed, which is essential for meeting the Montevideo criteria for statehood. 2. The link to state continuity. The importance of a redeclaration, as opposed to a first-time declaration, often lies in continuity. If a country redeclares independence after an illegal occupation, like the Baltic states in 1990, they are claiming they never stopped existing legally. This makes the redeclaration a reassertion of sovereignty. It allows the country to reclaim old embassy buildings, gold reserves held in foreign banks, and seats in international organizations without starting from scratch. 3. Importance under international law. Under international law, the redeclaration serves three critical functions. Triggers the right to self-determination. Modern international law, UN Charter Art 1, protects the right of peoples to determine their own political status. The redeclaration is the formal exercise of this right. Invitation for recognition. Other countries usually wait for a formal declaration before they decide to recognize the new state. Without the redeclaration, other countries have no official entity to talk to or trade with. Establishes de jure status. While a country might have de facto, in fact, control by winning a war, the redeclaration is the first step toward de jure by law status. It moves the conflict from a civil war or internal matter to an international issue. 4. When does the claim become real? A redeclaration is a claim, but it only becomes sovereignty when it meets two tests. 1. Effectiveness. Can the government actually collect taxes, police the streets, and defend the borders? 2. Recognition. Do the great powers and the United Nations accept the declaration? Important note. In international law, if a redeclaration is made but the country cannot maintain control of its land, the declaration remains a symbolic gesture rather than a legal reality. Would you like to explore how a specific country's redeclaration, like Estonia, South Sudan, or East Timor, changed its legal standing at the United Nations?
I hope you paid attention. When I said, the enemies, like that man called them Pedro, the enemies always look at the wrong side that favors them. They don't go into the real. And there is one thing about this research. The pure research, what you can see, the way Google will describe it is quite different from the app we are using to research. It's a pure app that gives you all you want. So, when you see someone like Don Pedro, there is a place he read out on Mazakai platform or somewhere I was listening to. How Namibia people take over South African bank or embassy. Yes, because South Africa built that bank in the territory of Namibia. After their declaration, immediately they got international recognition. They claimed that South Africa would not destroy that particular bank and that international embassy or anything there. What happened? They leave it. South Africa leave it and left because it is in the territory of who? People of Namibia. Today, when you see all these Nigeria banks and all these things, if after our declaration, and now they have re-declared, nearly with recognition, then it depends on us if we want to destroy those nonsense built by Nigeria there, because there's nothing good about it, aside from the scratch. That's why they said that once a country the old country is being re-declared into new one, that they are going to start from scratch for them to build their own country the way they want. Everything is inside this law. Everything is inside document too. They just hide it from us. They just hide it from us. And when we take our time to find out, we ask you to please like and share the program. If you are first time coming, there is a three dots in front of you. Click on that three dots. The three dots will open, you will select and share. And also, when you like a program, it also enables you to know this program, I have gone through it. Please, endeavor to like and share. Now, we start.
In international law, a redeclaration of independence is the formal bridge between a political desire and a legal reality. It is the moment a group moves from being rebels or subjects to claiming they are a sovereign state.
Do you hear? Are you listening? In the international law, not in Don William Pedro law, not in anybody's understanding, not in anybody's law, in the international law, a declaration of independence is the formal bridge between a political desire and the legal reality. We are no longer political desire, but we are legal reality. It is the moment a group moves from being rebel to a subject of claiming they are sovereign state. No country gives you sovereign state first. You will be the one to give yourself a sovereign state before they will now come to recognize you as a sovereign state. You will be an existing sovereign state before the world come. Not until they come, like a bridge, then it will now become an existing sovereign state. No. Look at where it is. Pull the record straight. Listen again. In international law, a redeclaration of independence is the formal bridge between a political desire and legal reality. One. It is the move. It is the moment a group moves from being rebel or being a rebel or subject to claim they are sovereign state. Are you following? This is how it goes. This is what the world gives to us to listen to. This is how they want us to operate. And this is how they are seeing us. Once you have that real declaration document, you will hear something. I just pray to have the strength to go to the second session, to the third session. Then you will see it. What the world will demand. When the world demand this thing from Ogenkere, demand it from any group, from IPOB, what are they going to present? Nothing. That is why they continue being rebel. The world will ask you for documents of the declaration. They will ask you for time it's happened. They will ask you for video of the declaration. They will ask you for the document. They will ask you for everything. And who has it? The United States of Biafra government, the woman that made this declaration, who joined among those 15 women in the past that made the declaration of their country. Don't mind the mediocres, comment about DPM. Here is how that real declaration transformed into a formal claim of sovereignty. It carries weight. Why the declaration document carries weight? The real declaration, why it carries what weight? Weight, Obatobia is too much. This man is too much. For the extent of using that word, real declaration. To the extent of using that word, real declaration. Simon Ebanjoko, the Solomon of our time. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for all you do to get us to this level where we are right now. Thank you, Dr. Ngozi Arabeze, for standing tall to maintain the mandate and what the world wants us to do, to remove us from rebel group. Imagine. To remove us from just a mere political group. Imagine. To put us in the timeline of life to become a sovereign state. Look at it here. The redeclaration transformed into a formal claim to sovereignty, and why it carries weight. It carries weight, the redeclaration. The redeclaration carries what? Weight. And it has transformed us to claim what? Sovereignty. That's Don Pedro. I thought I heard him saying that the UN will give people of Namibia the name they're answering. Nobody does that. You will choose them by yourself. You will choose them of your country. Choosing that name, that is what? Declaration. On our own that has been there before. It becomes real declaration. And from that declaration, we become a sovereignty that are waiting for international recognition.
Here is how that redeclaration transforms into a formal claim to sovereignty and why it carries weight. 1. The redeclaration as a founding act. A redeclaration is not just a speech, it is a legal instrument that notifies the rest of the world that the legal personality of a country has been restored or created.
Are you listening? The redeclaration is a founding act. A declaration is not just a speech. A declaration is not just a speech. It is a legal instrument. It is what? A legal instrument that notifies the rest of the world that the legal personality of a country has been restored or created. Are you listening? This is the word. This is what they present to us. This is how they see everything after our declaration. We are only waiting for what? Official international recognition. Are you listening to that? The redeclaration as a founding act. A declaration is not just a speech. It is a legal instrument that notifies the rest of the world that the legal personality of a country has been restored or created. Are you listening? Evidence of intent. Listen.
Evidence of intent. It proves to the international community that the entity intends to exercise the rights and duties of a state, like signing treaties or protecting citizens.
Are you hearing it? Are you hearing it? Don Pedro, where are you? Can you come? It's proved to the international community that the entity intends to exist, intends to exercise the rights and the duties of a state, like signing treaties or protecting their citizens. Are you listening? Let's continue.
The break from the past. It serves as the official cutoff date for when the laws of the occupying or winning country, the one they want to exit from, no longer apply.
Are you hearing it? The break from the past. It serves as the official cut-off date for the laws of the occupying. That is one Nigeria that occupying our territory. Let them leave us alone. That we are winning. The new country is winning. The one they want to exist from no longer apply. Nigeria law is no longer applied in our territory because of what? Redeclaration document that serves as a legal structure. I listen to that. It serves as a legal structure.
Defining the boundaries. A redeclaration usually defines the territory and population being claimed, which is essential for meeting the Montevideo criteria for statehood.
Are you listening? Defining the borders. A redeclaration usefully defines the territory and the population, not to control border because it becomes a sovereign state. No. And this new model looking for a new country, the criteria. You don't need to control 1% of territory. They said what needs to justify you as a sovereign nation is what? population being claimed. Over 50 million people voted for the redeclaration. Over 50 million people voted for our redeclaration. That is a population claim sovereignty. Now, sovereignty depends on population of people, human being, not land, not territory. Which is essential from meeting the Montevideo criteria for the stakeholder of sovereignty. Population, human being is the sovereignty, not land, not territory, not border. Is human being at the present 21st century becomes the sovereignty. The population makes you a sovereignty.
2. The link to state continuity. The importance of a re-declaration, as opposed to a first-time declaration, often lies in continuity.
Yes.
If a country redeclares independence after an illegal occupation, like the Baltic states in 1990, they are claiming they never stopped existing legally. This makes the redeclaration a reassertion of sovereignty. It allows the country to reclaim old embassy buildings, gold reserves held in foreign banks, and seats in international organizations without starting from scratch.
Do you listen very carefully? The importance of redeclaration as opposed the first time declaration. This our declaration, redeclaration of Biafra, USB, opposed the old one by Chukwuemeka, often lies in the community. Listen, if a new country redeclared independence after an illegal occupier like the Baptist states in 1990, they are claiming they never stopped in existence legally. Our declaration proving that we are still what? That we are still living. We are still in existence over all these years. Mommy Flora, good morning from here. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Laws 285, thank you for coming. Please, if you join us, please click the like button. Look at the top of your right hand of your phone. You will see a three dots. Click on that dot, it will open. You will see like and share. Please endeavor to do that. Subscribe on the page once again. And also leave notification on so you know when we are live. These are the only things we are coming here to come and do. I also pleaded with you that the money for the gadget is not enough. It's never okay. I said what's the one I'm paying for, I'm asking for is MP5 of this modern Apple phone that can do or do in research. Because of what I want to do. That is why I'm making a demand of what I want. So Biafran, please support. If you want to support me through dollar accounts, I can post it on this comment section. If you want to support me through Nigeria bank account, which I have, I can use to buy the currency of this country I am into. I have two of them, please. I want this thing to be done because the plans of to help this government, to help our people to understand the plans of government, to know our declaration is something that is very jiggy. So once we get this gadget, you will see more we can do. And then every evidence will be on the screen. Please, instead of reading it from phone, instead, please. And I want to tell you, if you want to support a Biafran person on the issue of buying something or big money, don't give super chat. When you give us super chat, if you give super chat of $10, YouTube almost takes $6 and give us $4. This is a YouTube for you. They will divide the money into two, take half. And if you are still wasting time from that one, they will see from there charging and updating the YouTube page. So if you want to give anybody social media something, just contact the person. Ask him, how do you want it? Do you have an account number? Then that person gives you. Give. That one is direct to him. But anyone on YouTube is being shared. YouTube will give what they like. There's nothing you can do. Please, that is the pure truth. So we must continue. They are claiming they never stopped in existence legally. They are claiming. I remember there is somebody who give me $100. You know that when I on super chat, before I close the super chat, before I stop the monetization first, when I go in there, what they pull out for my own to take out of the $100 I received was on this super chat was $50. Then because of it's not yet time to remove it. For them to service the page, they remove another $10, it remain 40. That is why YouTube is very, very greedy when it comes to money. What they are doing. So when you see on social media, you think hey, YouTube is making money. For where? For where? Nothing. So if you want to give a Biafran something, contact that person. Contact. So for me, that's why I said, you want to support me for these gadgets to be completed. We are on the line of completing it. Honestly, if you check M5, Apple laptop, how much it is, and you know what I'm talking about. I ask you to support me, please. I need this gadget. There is some documents I cannot be able to lay my hand. Yeah, Mommy Flora, I don't know you have my phone number. Or if I place the account number on this comment section, can you copy it from there? The foreign one. Do you want the dollar account or you want Naira account? If you want the dollar account, I will post it here right now. But if you want the Naira account, that is the one I will give you through contacting me. Then my number is in social media. Like I'm going to call the number right now. The number is WhatsApp number +97 33 60 51 337. I repeat, this is my WhatsApp number in case if you want the account private. The number is +9 7 33 60 51 337. That is the phone number in case if you want it private. That is the number you can use to contact me. Because the super chat is not helping at all. YouTube is doing what they like. In fact, they will share the money into 3. They will take 2 and give us 1. So you see. And even for me, the one that was being given to me because of the account is not well successful on monetization. All those ones still in the system up to now. I never bring it out because the criteria for me to monetize, I see what I'm still on that process now. That is why I close the super chat. So there's no giving money there when I cannot be able to do so far. I volunteer myself that I want to be here to educate my people. The only thing I needed, that gadget that enables me to get. There is this document I tried to open since over 16 days. I cannot. Because of what? Is that only M5 of Apple laptop have the code that will boycott out that particular document. The code, that one maneuver many things. That is why I'm asking for it, because there's kind of research I want to get into. There are things I want to present to Biafran people. The things about Sonazo I want to get in, but it's online. But the document is being closed for 16 days. As I'm using this particular phone now, this is when I used to do this research. As I'm using it right now, if you open it from 16 days, it's now be rounding and rounding. And the final it will not open. So that is why I need this gadget so much. It's a time. Even, do you know that Imam Maduabo is working with Uchemefo? I have it here. Uchemefo. Do you know that when Uchemefo break away from IPOB, that he breaks away with Uchemefo? Everything Uchemefo is doing today, Uchemefo is working with. Imam Maduabo is working with Uchemefo. Uchemefo, Imam Maduabo is working with Owazurike right now. And those that are fleeing don't know about this. Okay, the number is plus 9 7 double 3 6 0 5 1 double 3 7. Again, plus 9 7 double 3 6 0 5 1 double 3 7. That is the number. So I'm talking to you. I was be able to be searching something and they pull out Ushemefo past and those who left with him from IPOB. Imam Maduabu was among them, and his acting movement of Ushemefo, who is leader of RCC today, CRC today. As of this concoction of Wazirike claiming prime minister, Imam Maduabu, Uchemefo is involved in that movement. By tomorrow, that is the program I will do. That is the solution of Uchemefo and Imam Maduabu to present to Biafran for you to see. We will come, you will. See, you see this thing I'm doing here today. In the next 20 years, there's what they call free restore of media, of social media activities. They have restored all this I'm doing today. So in the next 20 years, if you type, once you mention Real Biafra TV, it will bring you all out. This is my movement. Both in the Google, they have free restore. Once in social media, they are restoring every movement. So those who think that what they are doing now is not social media, it's not on call, it's there. That's why you must be careful of all you do in social media. That free restore is like it's like a code. Once that code moves in and find out you are in social media, you have a platform, it has been restoring you without you restoring it by yourself. That is why you can see here, as I'm reading this, you will see histories of countries that have undergone what we are passing through today. That is pure truth. I leave it there. We go back. So, they are claiming they are never stopped in existing legally. That is the what? Real declaration. That is what? Real declaration. Why not you be a Christian, brother? Come and be a Christian and enjoy your life. Let's continue. This makes the real declaration a reassertion of a sovereignty. This makes real declaration a reassertion of a sovereignty. It allows the country to reclaim old embassy building, gold services held in the foreign bank, and the stays in the international organization without starting from scratch. You see, all these things that Nigeria built in Biafra land, the time is coming. We are going to reclaim all of them because they built in a foreign land. They build it in a foreign state. If we want, but because of we want to build, because anything built in Nigeria is wasted property. Do you understand? Anything built in Nigeria is wasted property because it's not, the foundation is not strong. I know what you are because I'm a builder in Nigeria. When a son who wants to build a house will tell you, please, oh, I want you to tell your workers to mold 50 for me, not 30, not 25. We are coming to build a country where you can use one bag, mold only 10 blocks, and it becomes strong, or even 5. That's the country that we want to build. That's why we are going to demolish all this rubbish and start afresh. Then, if there is some money Nigeria has, because what they did us in 1970, we are coming to do it back to them. Any money in the international bank in Biafra land will be our own. That one will take it because it's from our oil money. It's from our pankane money they are making from. We're not going to allow that one to go. Honestly. We must continue.
3. Importance under international law.
Importance under international law. Listen.
The international law, the Redeclaration serves 3 critical functions. Triggers the right to self-determination. Modern international law, UN Charter Art 1, protects the right of peoples to determine their own political status. The Redeclaration is the formal exercise of this right.
Are you listening? When I'm telling you that the movement of having a new country has changed, it's no longer what it is before. The movement is no longer in like that old centuries. Look at it. Under the international law, the Redeclaration serves 3 critical functions, which are targeting the right to the self-determination, modern international law, UN Charter Article 1, Article 1, Article 2, bracket 4, they all condemned violence movements for a new country. That is Woto Woto. This has been prohibited. They are banished it. And this is the us to use this modern international law. They always refer you to those laws. And I have taken my time out in the past to discuss about the modern law of the UN Charter, Article 2, bracket 4. We have already read it out here. Now, today, they refer us to what? Article 1, which is, we are going to bring it out very soon. So it says, protecting the right of people to determine their own political status. The Declaration is the formal exercise of their right. It is our right to exercise this right that we are a sovereign state after our declaration. Push the declaration to prove that we are a sovereign state in existence under the legal.
Invitation for recognition. Other countries usually wait for a formal declaration before they decide to recognize the new state. Without the Redeclaration, other countries have no official entity to talk to or trade with.
This is where the main key point it is. And we are going to revisit here back in due time. We are going to hold here and make more findings, make more research. That's why we need gadgets. If this is a gadget now, this place could have been on the question to ask if I want to know more about it. Okay. Invitation for recognition. Other countries usually wait for a formal declaration before they decide to recognize a new state. They are going to wait for formal what? Declaration of this country. You're talking about IPOB in the Mugu. In the placards at Pagari. Let's recognize it all, see now. The word we wait. Other countries usually waiting for a formal declaration before they decide to recognize the new state. Without the declaration, the other countries has no official entity to talk or to trend with. Are you listening? My people, is it making sense to you? Our declaration of Republic of United States of Biafra now, is it making more sense to you? Is it making more sense to you? Are you understanding it clearly? The declaration is invitation for recognition. And the father says, other countries usually waiting for a formal declaration before they decide to recognize. Now tell me, after you have made the declaration, you fall back. Could you listen to that? When people of Namibia use SWAPO, name Africa, Southwest Africa People's Organization to achieve their declaration. That day they made the declaration. They turned this name into a party name. Automatically, it becomes a party name. All the offices that this name was being right automatically becomes their embassy. I don't know why our own is going to be different. Because of syndrome of hear and forget, and because of a lot of money, and because of proud, selfish proud that will destroy all of you. That's where they're leading you to. Now, IPOB, can you hear that? Can you hear this? Other countries are waiting for you to declare you are a country, not a rebel group, because your organization. But declaration removes you from being an organization to become a sovereign state. Declaration or re-declaration removes you from being an organization to what? To a sovereign state that are waiting for recognition. That you are going to register all your offices as organization to prove a government structure in a country that the government decided to make their head office. This is pure fact and figures that we all need to know. This is pure fact and figure that we need to know. That's why they hide it from us. We are here to bring it out. Let them come and challenge us. Don Pedro, are you hearing this? Stop fooling yourself. Stop being idiots. Stop making mockery of yourself. IPOB, stop fooling yourself. Swallow your pride and face reality. Stop being liability. First responsibility by joining United States of Biafra. We are declared. That is only the way out for you. Because for me, I am already standing on this protocol that no one can take it away from me. The legal reality, the responsibility, the state in the waiting, the engine, the legal engine movement to keep it alive, their declaration, the invitation that leads to recognition is what our declaration simply means, my people. Remember that our line is still open for phone call as we are moving. In case if you decided to call us, call on number +97 33 60 51 337. In case if you may decide to call us to submit your own suggestion and how you feel about what we are doing, you are free to do that. You are free. Invitation for recognition. Other countries usually waiting for a formal declaration, not agitation group. They are waiting for a formal declaration before they decide to recognize the new state. Without this declaration, other countries have no official right to recognize the entity or to talk, because that leads to what? It becomes internal affair of Nigeria when there is no official declaration of Biafra. But the declaration makes it to give them the right that is no longer internal, it becomes external. So they can be able to talk. They can be able to recognize you as a state, as a sovereign state. Let's continue.
Establishes de jure status. While a country might have de facto, in fact, control by winning a war, the redeclaration is the first step toward de jure by law status. It moves the conflict from a civil war or internal matter to an international issue.
Are you hearing it? The importance of declaration under the international law. Simon Ebanjoki shall be well with you in your entire life. You will live long. May Elohim protect you, guide you. My Simon Ebanjoko, my Prime Minister, my President Maznan Dekano, two of you, nothing will happen to two of you. You are coming out soon to lead you out. You are a country you have fought for with the love, the emotion, and the enthusiasm to move us into the new country. What you have fighting for, we have gotten it. We are pushing for recognition. The declaration happened the way you, Simon, instructed for it. We did not go away from that. That is why it is very imperative that we must be here to let us educate ourselves on the reality on the ground. No matter how bad the English it is, please bear it with me. I'm not a graduate. I'm just doing the little I can. Please, manage the English. This is why I will play the voice for you to hear the English that you may understand, and allow me to use this one to my people, to every layman understanding, because we want message to sink to every grassroots. Establishing the Jew. This is the men. This is what they call the Jew. Is the main status. Why a country might have de facto, in fact, controlling by winning a war. The redeclaration is the first step towards the Jew recognition by law status. It moves the conflict from a civil war or internal matter to the external on international issues. Are you hearing? Remember, like I said, our line is open for phone call in case if you want to call. The number still remains that number you know. +97 336051337. That is the number in case if you want to call it. Establishing what? A new state. Redeclaration. The redeclaration is the first step towards international recognition. It's also a step that moves you away, that is no longer internal affair, like what British used to chase the international community away in 1967 to 1970. They used that it's internal affair of Nigeria, that nobody should come. But now that we have made our redeclaration again on the same name, Biafra, the world will now see that is no longer internal affair. Remember, in social media, in South Africa summit last year, November/October, when they gathered all the African presidents, I heard it from the president of Kenya that the Biafra movement is no longer internal affair of Nigeria. Do what gives them the right. This our official redeclaration is what gives them the right. You had it here. Without this official redeclaration as the first step, nobody will grant recognition. Nobody will talk to you. They will see you as a male political party. They will see you as a refugee activist. They will see you as a liability. They will see you as someone who is consuming social media. This is how the world will see you, with over long-term agitation without this official declaration. The declaration is the end of endless agitation. No more. And no more rebel. The world cannot see us as a rebel group anymore because of this word, official declaration of the United States of Biafra as a country, as a nation, as a sovereignty. They play, they want yourself. They play, they want yourself. While a country might have de facto government, in fact, controlled by winning a war, the redeclaration is the first step towards the due recognition, which is international. By law status, it moves the conflict from civil war or internal matter to an international issues. Our declaration. That is why also in Adi Burkina Faso, they talk about Biafra again. That is why you can see our diplomatic movement being there to negotiate and discuss about Biafra. That is what I'm able to say with our redeclaration document. It's no longer internal affair of Nigeria. We have given the international community the right, the sense of belonging to talk about Biafra. You don't know that. These are pure truth and figures that you don't understand. Please, as you are just joining us, please, we urge you to like this program. Please touch the like button. Can you touch the like button if you never do that? If you are first time, there is a three dot in front of you. Please click on that three dots. It will open, you will see like and share. Why are you asking for this? So the message can go viral. Please endeavor to do that. Endeavor to do that. I am not here to tell you what I think. I am not here to narrate things the way I want it. No. I am here to present to you what the world wants us to do and how what's they're expecting from us and how we should go on. How we should carry it on and things we have to do. That's why I'm here, not in my own way. Depends on the international community, depends on all the document of those has passed through this road that we are passing through today. Because of people has passed that road today, passed that road before, that is why we believe that today we can also pass and it can work for us.
4. When does the claim become real? A redeclaration is a claim, but it only becomes sovereignty when it meets two tests. 1. Effectiveness.
The effectiveness of what? Government. Today, USB is doing what? Conducting, accepting, I am paying my tax from here to my state. Are you paying your own? Are you paying your tax? This is the calendar criteria. Also, building police. Yes, we are building our police. Very soon it will be everywhere. And that is the right thing to do. So, you can see the impact of declaration. What it simply means. So do not panic, my people. The power of recognition of declaration is what gives you the recognition that leads for you to be a member of the UN. Without declaration, without or if you like protest or honor self-determination for 100 years, without this declaration, nobody recognizes as a country until you make this official declaration or a declaration before the world has power to talk about you. Because they said that declaration becomes a legal instrument that authorizes the international community to interfere into the matter, to prove that it's no longer internal affair, it becomes external under remedial succession. And that is our DPM is arguing every day. Do you understand? Like I said, please, if anyone want to call us, you are free to call to strengthen us more. It is very, very important if you can do that to us by doing what? By joining us to call and submit and talk about what you think about the movement that we are into and all the things you are hearing. Whether you are happy that all these things is coming out at this time, that we have made that real declaration. I take it upon myself to even deny myself sleep for me to search and get things that I will give to Biafran people. These are truths. Because the movement is pure and legit. The movement is legal. The movement is responsibility, not liability. So that's why it's very imperative that we all put our heads together, support the United States of Biafra we are declared. It is very important, my people. It is very important for us to do that. It is very important. The question will be, is it the government in exile to issue all this? And do you think that people have never done that before? Do you know that Norway was made the declaration in London? Do you know that Poland made the declaration in London? And many more of all these countries in the world, even in Africa, many do that in the past. That is why we are calling on all women Biafrans to stand with the United States of Biafra. It seems to be that our people are very busy this morning. We are not receiving any call. And this is we are going to the third session. Please, I urge you to please like and share, please. I urge you to also call. We are going to third session. We have achieved the first and the second. Okay, I'm going to play it the way I normally do. I'm going to play this second session finished, then go back, play session 1, session 2, for you to recall as we are moving into session 3.
The government actually collect taxes, police the streets, and defend the borders. 2. Recognition. Do the great powers and the United Nations accept the declaration? Important note. In international law, if a re-declaration is made but the country cannot maintain control of its land, the declaration remains a symbolic gesture rather than a legal reality. Would you like to explore how a specific country's re-declaration, like Estonia, South Sudan, or East Timor, changed its legal standing at the United Nations?
Yes. Let us play from number 1 session to number 2, please. It is very important we do so. Let us go and play it. From where we start this morning to the end of this session 2, if you have strength, then we will go into session 1. Into session 3, sorry.
In international law, the re-declaration of independence, after a long period of absence, is more of a political signal than a magic legal reset. Its importance depends almost entirely on how much effective control the country actually has on the ground and how other nations react to it. Under international law, the situation you describe generally follows these 3 pillars. 1. The principle of effective control. International law is often pragmatic. It looks at who is actually in charge. If a country lost a war and was absorbed or occupied for years, its legal existence may have been suspended or extinguished. The fact of statehood. To be a state, you must...
IPOB, the legal of Biafra has suspended after we lost the war and reintegrate back into Nigeria. IPOB. This is the truth I want you to know. And I'm not one saying it. Look at it here. How the world view it. The Biafra that we did not achieve, that is no longer in existence from 1967 to 2025 until we make our declaration November 29, 2024. That is when we brought it back in timeline.
Must meet the Montevideo criteria, a permanent population, a defined territory, a government, and the capacity to enter into relations with other states. The re-declaration, the act of re-declaring independence, is an assertion that these criteria are met once again. If the country has the military and administrative power to back up the declaration is seen as a founding fact. 2. Declaratory versus constitutive theory. There are 2 ways the world looks at a new or returning country. Declaratory theory, most common. This says that if you meet the criteria of a state, people, land, government, you are a state regardless of what others say. In this view, the re-declaration is just an official announcement of an existing reality. Constitutive theory. This says a country only exists legally if other countries recognize it. Under this view, the re-declaration is an invitation for others to recognize you. Without that recognition, the re-declared country may find it impossible to join the UN, trade officially, or protect its borders legally. 3. The role of state continuity. A critical legal question is whether the new country is a successor to the old one, or a continuation of it. Continuation. If the international community views the period of absence as an illegal occupation, e.g., the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania after the Soviet era, the re-declaration is seen as restoring the original legal personality. This is very powerful because it means old treaties and property rights might still be valid. New state. If the previous country was considered legally dead, the re-declaration marks the birth of a brand new entity. This means starting from scratch with treaties, debts, and international memberships. Comparison of outcomes. Scenario. Legal weight of re-declaration. Outcome. With effective control plus recognition. High. Full membership in the UN, sovereign immunity, protected borders. With effective control but no recognition. Medium. A de facto state, like Taiwan or Somaliland, can function but faces legal hurdles in international courts. No effective control. Declaration only. Low. Seen as a government in exile, or a symbolic gesture. No real standing in international law. Summary. The re-declaration is essentially a claim to sovereignty. Its importance under international law is determined by whether the country can exercise authority over its land, and whether the big players in the international community and the UN Security Council choose to accept that claim. Would you like? In international law, a re-declaration of independence is the formal bridge between a political desire and a legal reality. It is the moment a group moves from being rebels or subjects to claiming they are a sovereign state. Here is how that redeclaration transforms into a formal claim to sovereignty and why it carries weight. 1. The redeclaration as a founding act. A redeclaration is not just a speech, it is a legal instrument that notifies the rest of the world that the legal personality of a country has been restored or created. Evidence of intent. It proves to the international community that the entity intends to exercise the rights and duties of a state, like signing treaties or protecting citizens. The break from the past. It serves as the official cutoff date for when the laws of the occupying or winning country, the one they want to exit from, no longer apply. Defining the boundaries. A redeclaration usually defines the territory and population being claimed, which is essential for meeting the Montevideo criteria for statehood. 2. The link to state continuity. The importance of a redeclaration, as opposed to a first-time declaration, often lies in continuity. If a country redeclares independence after an illegal occupation, like the Baltic states in 1990, they are claiming they never stopped existing legally. This makes the redeclaration a reassertion of sovereignty. It allows the country to reclaim old embassy buildings, gold reserves held in foreign banks, and seats in international organizations without starting from scratch. 3. Importance under international law. Under international law, the redeclaration serves three critical functions. Triggers the right to self-determination. Modern international law, UN Charter Art 1, protects the right of peoples to determine their own political status. The redeclaration is the formal exercise of this right. Invitation for recognition. Other countries usually wait for a formal declaration before they decide to recognize the new state. Without the redeclaration, other countries have no official entity to talk to or trade with. Establishes de jure status. While a country might have de facto in fact control by winning a war, the redeclaration is the first step toward de jure by law status. It moves the conflict from a civil war or internal matter to an international issue. 4. When does the claim become real? A redeclaration is a claim, but it only becomes sovereignty when it meets two tests. 1. Effectiveness. Can the government actually collect taxes, police the streets, and defend the borders? 2. Recognition. Do the great powers and the United Nations accept the declaration? Important note. In international law, if a redeclaration is made but the country cannot maintain control of its land, the declaration remains a symbolic gesture rather than a legal reality. Would you like to explore how a specific country's redeclaration, like Estonia, South Sudan, or East Timor, changed its legal standing at the United Nations?
I hope you followed me carefully and you listened carefully. Why allow it to play to prove to the world that what we are doing has already been there? And the things we are losing or things we are missing has already been there. So I am bringing it out to let us know the right way. And when you look at the USB, we are declared, they are the one maintaining all these criteria you're hearing here. You can never be recognized as a country without making official declaration of your country, whether declaring as a new one or declaring as or you are declared as an old one that is still in existence. That is why it's important. That is why we are here, to let the world know this truth, to let the world know that we have understand, to let the world know that we have met all these criteria, that the only thing we are looking for now is for them to, that we have done what they want us to do. What is that? The real declaration that gives all of you rights to recognize United States of Biafra as a sovereign state fully. That is what we Biafran people are asking for. And we believe that it's already there because we have given you what you want, then give us what we want. This is the second time Biafra was officially declared as a new country, 1967 to 1970. Bagam. Then November 29, 2024, we make it real declaration again. So let us see how the world will destroy this real declaration value and give us the other way around. We are watching as they play, in the show. We, the Biafran people that have met all these criteria, we stand strong and nobody will put us away. This is the pure truth. Like I still said, we still have the time. Our line is open on number +7 +97 336051 That is number to call. You want to call us on WhatsApp? We will pick your phone call if you do so, because we need all of you to join us to do the needful this morning. That is why we are calling on you to call. And when you pick up the call, so we can be able to have a little bit rest and you will do the talking also. I have been here for 2 hours and going to 3 hours, only me doing the talking. So I know that it is morning, our people are busy, and people are start getting back to work, but it's still remains Saturday weekend. So please, we encourage you to join us on this hallowed platform. Yes, let's go into number 3. We are not going to surrender because of no call. Number 3 is what we are going to listen to right now. So listen to this. Section 3.
When a government in exile, GIE, issues a re-declaration of independence, the legal stakes change significantly. Because the government is physically outside its territory, it cannot rely on effective control, the ability to actually govern. So the re-declaration becomes its primary legal and symbolic weapon.
Okay, the number is plus 9 7 3 6 0 5 1 3 7. Only on WhatsApp. Plus 9 7 3 6 0 5 1 3 7. That is the number.
The importance of this act under international law can be broken down into 3 key functions. 1. Preserving state continuity. The most vital role of a re-declaration from exile is to argue that the state never legally died, even if its territory was physically occupied. The legal fiction, international law, often maintains a legal fiction that a state exists as long as there is a government in exile claiming its rights. Example, during World War II, several governments, like Norway and Poland, fled to London. Their declarations and presence ensured that when the war ended, they didn't have to apply to be countries again, they were simply restored. 2. Asserting, de jure, by law sovereignty. There are 2 types of sovereignty. De facto, who is actually there, and de jure, who has the legal right. A formal claim. The re-declaration is an official assertion of de jure sovereignty. It tells the world, the current rulers in our homeland are illegal occupiers, and we are the only ones with the legal right to sign treaties, hold bank accounts, and represent our people. Preventing prescription. In international law, if you don't protest an occupation for a long time, the world might eventually recognize the occupier's rule as permanent. A re-declaration stops the clock, proving that the claim to the land is still active and contested. 3. Creating a legal anchor for allies. Other countries often want to help, but they need a legal reason to do so without violating international laws against interference. Diplomatic recognition. A re-declaration gives foreign nations an official document they can recognize. Control of assets. This is often the most practical benefit. If a GIE redeclares sovereignty and is recognized by the US or UK, they can gain access to the country's gold reserves or embassy buildings held in those foreign nations, denying those resources to the enemy back home. How important is it? The success factors. The weight of a re-declaration from exile depends on 2 factors. Factor: description. Recognition. If powerful countries, or the UN, accept the re-declaration, the government in exile can act like a real state, signing deals, receiving aid. Legitimacy. The government must prove it represents the will of the people. If the people inside the country don't support the GIE, the re-declaration is often seen as a paper claim, with no real legal power. Summary. Under international law, a re-declaration by a government in exile is the formal rejection of the current status quo. It transforms a military defeat into a legal dispute, keeping the idea of the country alive until the government can return. Would you like me to look up a specific historical case, like the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and how their decades-long exile eventually led to successful re-independence?
They have their what? Government in exile that's met their declaration or that met their declaration. Lithuania, Leventinal, Estenal, these are countries. East Timor, these are countries in the world that also have undergone this process, that have passed this process that we're undergoing today. That's why it's very important for you to listen to all this. Listen again.
When a government in exile, GIE, issues a re-declaration of independence, the legal stakes change significantly. Because the government is physically outside its territory, it cannot rely on effective control, the ability to actually govern. so the redeclaration becomes its primary legal and symbolic weapon. The importance of this act under international law can be broken down into three key functions. 1. Preserving state continuity. The most vital role of a redeclaration from exile is to argue that the state never legally died, even if its territory was physically occupied. The legal fiction, international law, often maintains a legal fiction that a state exists as long as there is a government in exile claiming its rights. Example, during World War II, several governments, like Norway and Poland, fled to London. Their declarations and presence ensured that when the war ended, they didn't have to apply to be countries again, they were simply restored. 2. Asserting de jure, by law, sovereignty. There are two types of sovereignty: de facto, who is actually there, and de jure, who has the legal right. A formal claim. The redeclaration is an official assertion of de jure sovereignty. It tells the world, the current rulers in our homeland are illegal occupiers, and we are the only ones with the legal right to sign treaties, hold bank accounts, and represent our people. Preventing prescription. In international law, if you don't protest an occupation for a long time, the world might eventually recognize the occupier's rule as permanent. A redeclaration stops the clock, proving that the claim to the land is still active and contested. 3. Creating a legal anchor for allies. Other countries often want to help, but they need a legal reason to do so without violating international laws against interference. Diplomatic recognition. A redeclaration gives foreign nations an official document they can recognize. Control of assets. This is often the most practical benefit. If a GIE redeclares sovereignty and is recognized by the US or UK, they can gain access to the country's gold reserves or embassy buildings held in those foreign nations, denying those resources to the enemy back home. How important is it? The success factors. The weight of a redeclaration from exile depends on two factors. Factor: description. Recognition. If powerful countries, or the UN, accept the redeclaration, the government in exile can act like a real state, signing deals, receiving aid. Legitimacy. The government must prove it represents the will of the people. If the people inside the country don't support the GIE, the redeclaration is often seen as a paper claim, with no real legal power. Summary. Under international law, a redeclaration by a government in exile is the formal rejection of the current status quo. It transforms a military defeat into a legal dispute, keeping the idea of the country alive until the government can return. Would you like me to look up a specific historical case, like the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and how their decades-long exile eventually led to successful re-independence?
My people, as you can see, when you were listening, I don't know whether you listen to I'm listening to all these things when I find it out, to look at what the government is doing and look at, so I simply believed in within me that the government has already been studying all these things before the movement they are taking right now. The movement of the US government has already proven that they are listening to, they are doing their findings, their research on their own to get all these things done. Look at the way the government it is. Is it anything that on this document of international law that we are missing? The answer is no. The government carries everything along, pushing, centralizing everything, pushing for one goal, which is recognition, and also defending our land, and also try to release legal way to release mass time on it. That Biafra has been declared that we are a sovereign state, we are a new country. That the old country has turned into a new country. That is the meaning of their declaration. So everything that we are doing is worth doing. That is why I want to support USB on the fundraising. I want to give you a donation without looking back. All these recognitions, all these documents signing, all the documents being given out is all being given by money. What they use money to do in this movement is too much. So for those that has accountability, and you never contribute 1 naira, you want someone to give you account of what you did not contribute a dime on it. I'm not a useless and hopeless man. Yes, you must continue. You must continue. When a government in exile, GIE, issues a redeclaration of independence, the legal strategic changes significantly because the government is physically outside the territory. It cannot rely on effective control. Listen, it cannot rely on the physical control of territory. the ability to actually govern. So the redeclaration becomes a primary legal and symbolic weapon. The redeclaration is simply primarily and a symbolic weapon. That is how they describe the declaration of the government in exile. They did not need to go and take control of 80%, 20% they are telling you about. That they need to prove that there is a permanent population of people. Population is become the sovereignty first. Important of this act under international law can be broke down into three key functions. Are you listening to it? Because the government in exile is not in the homeland. So instead of them they don't have to come and claim that we have control 100% of the threat. No. And there is never in the list, there is never in, there is on all I have been seen, all I have been researched, I never see where they say, you must go and control 30% before you can become a sovereign state. It does not exist anywhere. What is obtainable is what I am presenting to you. What is existable is what I am presenting to you. Do not mind those people. They are just making mockery of themselves social media. Never you mind them. Akwụla fante na ọnụ akwụrụ njọ ga-ekwu mma na ọnụ abụrụ gachakwa oge rachara awarụsịa nwa bụ ngela ga-ekwuru ya nwụ, because that is the end point of all this that is going on social media. We have been talking for going to 3 hours and my voice is coming down, so it's like we are going to end it here until we come back again. Then we have 2 analyses to do more of how can a government in exile issue passports, and on this particular document that this one will read last right now, they are all intact. We need to do more to this. So I want to play it from the beginning to the end without saying no. See, if you want to record, you record. Send it to a group. This is how you can also be sending this message, go viral. When you come, like the message. This, we are going to maximum 3 hours. So please, I'm going to play the program. I'm going to play all this document back again without saying a word. Record it. Record it. Send it to different groups. Let's go viral, please. Let's start from the beginning, or from session 1 to session 3. Session 3, we will come back either today or tomorrow morning to explain it in details to Biafran people.
In international law, the redeclaration of independence, after a long period of absence, is more of a political signal than a magic legal reset. Its importance depends almost entirely on how much effective control the country actually has on the ground and how other nations react to it. Under international law, the situation you describe generally follows these 3 pillars. 1. The principle of effective control. International law is often pragmatic. It looks at who is actually in charge. If a country lost a war and was absorbed or occupied for years, its legal existence may have been suspended or extinguished. The fact of statehood. To be a state, you must meet the Montevideo criteria: a permanent population, a defined territory, a government, and the capacity to enter into relations with other states. The redeclaration, the act of redeclaring independence, is an assertion that these criteria are met once again. If the country has the military and administrative power to back up the declaration is seen as a founding fact. 2. Declaratory versus constitutive theory. There are 2 ways the world looks at a new or returning country. Declaratory theory, most common. This says that if you meet the criteria of a state, people, land, government, you are a state regardless of what others say. In this view, the redeclaration is just an official announcement of an existing reality. Constitutive theory. This says a country only exists legally if other countries recognize it. Under this view, the redeclaration is an invitation for others to recognize you. Without that recognition, the redeclared country may find it impossible to join the UN, trade officially, or protect its borders legally. 3. The role of state continuity. A critical legal question is whether the new country is a successor to the old one, or a continuation of it. Continuation. If the international community views the period of absence as an illegal occupation, e.g., the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania after the Soviet era, The redeclaration is seen as restoring the original legal personality. This is very powerful because it means old treaties and property rights might still be valid. New state. If the previous country was considered legally dead, the redeclaration marks the birth of a brand new entity. This means starting from scratch with treaties, debts, and international memberships. Comparison of outcomes. Scenario. Legal weight of redeclaration. Outcome. With effective control plus recognition. High. Full membership in the UN, sovereign immunity, protected borders. With effective control but no recognition. Medium. A de facto state, like Taiwan or Somaliland, can function but faces legal hurdles in international courts. No effective control. Declaration only. Low. Seen as a government in exile, or a symbolic gesture. No real standing in international law. Summary. The redeclaration is essentially a claim to sovereignty. Its importance under international law is determined by whether the country can exercise authority over its land, and whether the big players in the international community and the UN Security Council choose to accept that claim. Would you like me to look into a specific historical example, such as the Baltic states or a particular region, to see how their redeclaration was handled?
Yes, on this junction, I want to thank you more. I also want to urge you, anytime you want to watch this program, please remember to like and share. Once you like that program, it's going. Once you share it, it's going. It goes on your link and not in my link. That is how you help to share this message. Please, I urge you to do that. And from me, from here, thank you all for being here. This morning is maximum 3 hours. So I thank you until we come back again. Maybe today or watch out tomorrow morning. Once you leave notification on, once you are live, you will know. Once you subscribe, there is a 3 bell. There is a bell there. Click on that bell once, it will open. You will see personal like. Then touch that personal like notification. Once I am alive, once I come live, then you will see the message that we are live, so that you can be able to join. Thank you so much for being here. Once again, I appreciate you all. From me, from here, it is a wonderful day to you all. Peace out.